Hey, what's up? Coach Chris here from Halliday Tennis. If you haven't already, click the like and subscribe button. Helps grow the channel. Today I'm going over 3 tips to help to make your forehand a bit more, topspin forehand a little more effortless. First tip is getting the right grip. Okay, so if I'm starting in a neutral or continental grip, I'm adjusting to either an Eastern forehand or a semi-Western. So both of these grips, again, are if I'm closing the racket, depending on how much. This is a full Western, so that's a bit extreme spin. Semi-Western, kind of in the middle, and Eastern forehand, it's in between a flatter shot and a topspin. So you got to have one of these grips in order to generate topspin. I'd recommend, especially at the start of your tennis journey, you use an Eastern forehand. That allows you to brush the ball up and over, okay? So if you use a continental grip like this, it's good for blocking the ball, like I use that for feeding, but it's not conducive for that windshield wiper motion. So if you're trying to do a windshield wiper motion with topspin, you gotta have the correct grip. I personally use a semi-Western, so my hand is a little more, again, depends on where your hand placement is. The more your hand is under the racket, the more you're able to generate spin, okay? So again, recommend something like an Eastern that's one bevel over here. Okay, tip number 2 is make your contact point ideal, okay? So a lot of the times you do have a choice, and you have that in your control where you're gonna make contact. Ideally, it's around your waist, like in between your chest and your knees, somewhere around here, in front to the right if I'm right-handed. So that's like on a 45-degree angle. My right arm, I'm fully extending. I want that out through. So I'm looking for that while I'm playing my point. If I'm receiving a topspin forehand, I'm really working hard, and I'm thinking, how do I adjust in order to hit the ball here? Because if I can get 9 out of 10 balls in that ideal contact zone, I'm setting myself up for a lot of success, okay? So again, what that looks like, in front of you, again on a 45-degree angle, that's ideal. Sometimes depending on your opponent, you're not gonna get that time. So if you don't have a lot of time, sometimes you just gotta, survive. But if you have the time and if you're able to, you wanna get sideways on the ball, you wanna make contact in front, open stance, you want to make contact in front. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is you want to follow through, okay? So when you're hitting this topspin shot, a huge part of this is kind of you want to feel cool, you want to feel relaxed, you want to feel effortless, okay? And a lot of that comes to do with what you do after you hit the shot. So if you're going to notice, after I hit the ball, my racket is completely relaxed and limp, and it finishes pointing behind me, okay? Sometimes I see players trying to control the ball a little bit more. They stop here, okay? Kind of gives an illusion of control because you're holding up, but if your goal is to create an effortless topspin forehand, you have to have a full range of motion, okay? So whether that's, you're finishing up here like a buggy whip, Rafa Nadal, right? You don't see him, there's no stopping in that motion. Whether you see, I see someone, kind of like, picture a bit more like Federer like that, hitting a little higher. Sometimes you see Kyrgios, finishing down below. Regardless of what it is, it's finishing on the other side of the body, and there's no catching it, okay? Go nice and free. So those are your 3 tips. To make your forehand topspin effortless. That should be your dominant weapon. So it's good to build that up. All right, good luck.